What if you could make money doing what you loved? It seems like everybody else gets to do it, but somehow you've convinced yourself that you can't. You've told yourself that you have to do what is logical as opposed to doing what brings you passion, what fuels your fire, what keeps you up at night and excites you. I love hearing what individuals would do every single day if money wasn't a factor. And in this two-part series, I'm going to break down exactly how to find your passion, how to monetize your life. I'm going to get a little technical on the exact steps that you need to take in order to identify exactly what your passion and purpose is. We're going to dream big and visualize the woman that you are becoming. Oh, honey, I hope you're ready for this episode. If you are, get your pen, get your Post-it, get your ambition planner, and let's go. Hello, Ambition Babes. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, also known as the Face of Ambition, across all social media platforms as well as wherever you stream your podcast. I think attention needs to be called to the new space that I'm recording in. Since my last video, I have relocated from Savannah, Georgia to Columbus, Georgia because of my husband's job. And in this new space, I just wanted some new energy and a new vibe. You guys may or may not know I'm addicted to the color pink, and I'm only getting started on the interior vibe that I want to set for the videos that I drop weekly. If this is the first time you are seeing my face, I help women 40 years and older who are ready to reinvent themselves, who are on a reinvention journey and tired of doing the same old thing the same old way and want to change. But do not worry, sis, if you are not over the age of 40 and the algorithm gods have decided to show you my face, it's because you need to consider me your bougie auntie that wants to put you on so that you don't have to suffer the way that I have. And today we're talking about something that is so important to me. It is literally what I have built my life's work around, which is how to find your passion. I have spent so many years of my life working in spaces that I was not passionate about. And what I want to be clear about is that when I started working in that area, maybe I was passionate about it at that time. But for some reason, I had this idea that I had to be passionate about it forever. Like if I started being a business consultant, I had to enjoy being a business consultant for the rest of my life. And one day I decided to give myself permission to dream bigger. For many decades, I was a business consultant that made million and billion dollar companies more money. And even though it was highly lucrative, I was not fulfilled. It was so far from my passion, and it felt like something I had to do as opposed to something I wanted to do. That is why in today's episode, I'm going to break down how to monetize your life. The thing that brings you joy, the thing that keeps you up at night, that gives that fire in your belly. What are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing? What dream have you always dreamt would be your life, but you've pushed it aside because you've been so busy surviving and you stopped dreaming? What if the thing that you loved could actually fuel your glow up? Could be the rebrand or reinvention that you desired? God has gifted us with so many gifts and talents, and sometimes it may seem confusing as to which purpose you should actually activate first. Oh honey, I'm talking to my multi-hyphenates. I'm talking to my girl that says, I don't just have one thing I'm passionate about, girl, I have a list. Let me just warn you, you are in good company. Because there was a time I wanted to be an interior designer. I wanted to make the compounds that created makeup. I wanted to be a vocal performance coach. I'm currently a certified business consultant. I own a planner company. I have a community called Clickish where I hold individuals accountable to reaching their ambitious goals. I do one-on-one consulting. I was a political consultant for over 14 years. I'm a business strategist that has built billion-dollar companies. I launched a tech company that we exited in 2019. And nowadays I consider myself an influencer and content creator. And although some of the passions that I have had in my past I have since retired from, I am so proud to say that every single day I get to operate in purpose. This does not feel like a job. This feels like me monetizing my life. Pouring into women who want to reinvent themselves, who know they are meant for more, who are on a glow-up journey, who are ready to rebrand, who are ready to build the business, build a nonprofit, become the entrepreneur, become the side hustler, or just simply be better than the day before is my current life's mission. So what I'm going to break down today is how to turn your passion and purpose into money. Now, I'm going to warn you, I have a lot of caveats around how this process works because I have encountered so many individuals that take their hobby and try to monetize it and then they start falling out of love with it. And they feel a sense of loss whenever they no longer enjoy doing what they once did. That is why I've had to break this video down into a two-part series. So you are definitely going to want to pull out your ambition planner and take notes because a lot of the things I'm going to share with you today is going to help you to not burn out on your journey. The very first step to this process is that you have got to unlock the dream. As women, a long time ago, we have stopped dreaming. We have stopped pursuing our passions because somewhere along the way, we had to do things as opposed to doing the things that we wanted to do. We had to be the older sibling. We had to raise the family. We had to be the single parent. We had to work through the trauma. We had to make all of the money. We had to deal with all of our stress. We had to swallow our anxiety. We've had to act like everything is okay and that we're not chronically overwhelmed. And each and every one of those layers smothers our dreams. Who's got time to be dreaming when the phone is ringing because I have an overdue bill? Who's got time to be dreaming when I'm trying to get these kids back in private school? When my check engine light came on today? When I'm actively going through a divorce and I'm struggling with depression? I want you to know that I understand. I don't want to come off as tone deaf, like life isn't lifing and we're not all busy just trying to survive. But what I do want to offer you is permission to want more. Yes, this is your current situation, but there's nothing wrong with wanting more. More money, more opportunities, more realistic goals, more vacations, more happiness, more square footage in your home, more passion and pleasure in your marriage, and more fulfillment in your job. I want you to stop right now and close your eyes. And I want you to slowly exhale. And as you inhale, I want you to think about what you wanted to be when you were a child. We talk about doing the inner child work, but sometimes we're too scared to just remember who we wanted to be when we were younger. Maybe you wanted to be an artist or a painter or a singer or an actor. Maybe you wanted to help people, or maybe you wanted to be a doctor. Maybe you wanted to be a social worker, a musician. Maybe you wanted to have a YouTube channel or work in finance. I want you to take a deep breath in and I want you to think about the one thing that you could do every day and never get tired of it. What would that one thing be? Would it be to become a YouTuber and help women to reinvent themselves and become the very best and highest version of their life? Would it be to be an accountant to help individuals with their financial issues so that they could finally sleep at night? Would it be to be a counselor where you helped mend marriages and families? Would it be the doctor that you wish you had when you were misdiagnosed with that illness? What is it that lights you up? Each and every one of you has that one thing that everyone comes to you for. What is it? When you think about the things that individuals ask you about, they want to know where you got that dress from, what perfume you're wearing, what shade of lipstick are you wearing, who does your nails, who braided your hair. Perhaps you are an influencer. You create desire, and all you're doing is trying to live your best life. I want you to take one last deep breath in, and I want you to visualize the woman of your dreams. And as you slowly exhale and open your eyes, I want you to pull out a pen and paper, preferably your brand new digital ambition planner, and I want you to write this journal prompt across the top of your page. How does your passion make you feel? As a business coach, I have asked this question hundreds of times. And although every time I get a different answer, very frequently I get individuals that say, my passions make me feel overwhelmed. There's too many. There's so many things that I want to do with my life, so many unfulfilled dreams, goals, and misaligned purpose that I simply do not know where to start. If that is you, I want to introduce you to this concept of an ikigai. Even if you know exactly what your passion and purpose is, doing this very simple exercise just helps to hyper-focus exactly what your life's worth and purpose should be. Ikigai refers to a Japanese philosophy to help one find their purpose and reason for living. This exercise is so powerful because it helps you to identify what brings you joy and a sense of fulfillment in life. If you have followed any of my videos, you know I've mentioned this concept before, but it is so powerful and it actually works. On a sheet of paper, I want you to draw 4 circles that intersect, creating somewhat of a Venn diagram. In the very top circle, I want you to write the words what you love. In the circle to the left, I want you to write what you are good at. In the circle at the very bottom, I want you to identify what you could be paid for. And in the circle on the right, I would like for you to write what the world needs. In the sections that intersect what you love and what you're good at, I want you to write the word passion. In the circles that intersect at what you're good at and what you would be paid for, I want you to write the words profession. In the circles that intersect what you love and what the world needs, I want you to write the word mission. In the circles that intersect what the world needs and what you would be paid for, I want you to write the word vocation. Now, you still have 4 spaces where your circles intersect. And this is where you start doing the hard work. In the circles that intersect what you love and what you're good at, this is the space where you're going to identify what feels absolutely useless but extremely satisfying. It's kind of like if you're really passionate about baking. There are so many bakers in the world. Each one of us has binge-watched a baking show. My personal favorite is the Great British Baking Show. After consuming all of this baking content, you kind of feel like I absolutely love baking and I'm really, really good at it, but there's so many bakers out there. The industry is so saturated with individuals that have far more experience than you do. But it is what you love and it is what you're good at. Or you look at the adjoining circles of what you're good at and what you get paid for. I want you to write all of the things down that qualify in this section. You're good at being an administrative assistant. Then it pays okay. You are completely comfortable but extremely empty. Anytime you say you could do this job with your eyes closed, 9 times out of 10 you're not very passionate about it. Because things that you're passionate about, you're always studying. You want to learn more. You want to be the very best in your industry. Your goal every day is not to put cog 1 onto cog 2 and send it down the conveyor belt. You want more. Intersection of what you love and what the world needs comes together. This is what you're going to call your mission. You're happy, you're fulfilled, but it has absolutely no worth. This is traditionally the space where individuals who want to start a nonprofit organization find themselves. They love making quilts. They love feeding the homeless. They love helping children. They love taking their dog to the nursing home. They love picking up trash along the shoreline. But what you have told yourself over and over again is that it has no value. You can't make a living by doing the things that intersect what you love and what the world needs. And so you swallow that dream and stay in the 9 to 5 that you absolutely hate. But the last component is this really tricky section where you're at the intersection of what the world needs and what you get paid for, which we call your vocation. These are the things that you're skilled in doing, or maybe you have a degree in. So you're excited about it and you're even self-approved, but you have a lot of uncertainty. I see this all the time in consultants, counselors, and content creators. You know you can get paid for this, and you know it's what the world needs. You studied it. You've got a certificate on the wall to prove that you know what you're doing. But there is so much uncertainty around you actually taking the leap. I want you to write down your initial thoughts for each and every one of these sections. And what you're going to find is that there's a repetitive theme that keeps coming up in every one of these quadrants. When you start seeing a theme that's coming in focus, that is your ikigai. That is the thing that you can do absolutely every single day because it has balance. It takes the things that you've learned in your vocation. It takes your passion, your profession, your mission, and your vocation to create the nucleus of who you are. At your core, you are supposed to be an interior designer. You love beautifying spaces. At your core, you are supposed to be a baker. It does not matter how many individuals are in this space. You have a dream to sell the very best box cake and teach individuals how to wow their guests and company every single holiday and special occasion. You have a dream to be a makeup artist, a politician, a singer, and you have denied this dream over and over again because you didn't see how it actually intersected. The most important question is, how am I going to make money? Does the world really need this? I know that I really love it, but am I as good at it as someone else? When you're able to do this very simple exercise and check the box and say yes, 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 in the center, you are finding your ikigai. I have literally created hundreds of ikigais over the past few years. Because I self-identify as a multi-hyphenate, I have a lot of passion. And what I have to be careful in identifying is when I unlock each of my passions. As you all know, I just released the digital version of the Ambition Planner, but I had to be ready to release it whenever it aligned with the other things that I'm working on in my life. I want to be able to spin all of my passion plates and not allow any of them to fall to the ground. And when one of my passion plates falls to the ground, it's because I'm approaching burnout. I don't feel energized enough to keep every single plate spinning. And in my mind, even though I feel like I can do it all and I want to maintain this momentum, there is absolutely nothing wrong with creating a strategic plan to unlock your passion. That is why I am the very first to say, baby, do not quit your day job. There is a strategic plan to make your side hustle your main hustle. And in the next part of this series, I am going to give you these 7 steps that are going to help you to monetize your life. But first, you have to have a dream. First, you have to know what your passion is, what fulfills you, what makes you happy. Once you have allowed yourself to dream, then we can do the work. I want to be clear, sis. Everything that you enjoy, everything that you're passionate about does not have to be monetized. But if you've been sitting on this dream for way too long, you've done the Ikigai process and you've identified exactly what you're passionate about, you have got to watch part 2 of this series because I'm going to teach you my proven steps to monetize your passion without burning out. As someone who is a professional at building 6-figure-a-month businesses, as well as burning out, I have taken everything that I have learned and I've created a monetization map that is going to help you turn your life into dollar bills. Please make sure that you share this video with your sister, your best friend, your mama, or your cousin, because each and every one of us deserves an accountability partner that is going to support us while we're on our glow up journey. And make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss part 2 to this series. Lastly, I would love for you to comment what your passion is in the comment section below. The comment section of this video is a sacred space for us to root for each other, pray for each other, and hold space for another sister as we are on this journey together. Sis, I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.